Okay, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Welcome to BIOKET Digital. Welcome to this new webinar. My name is Johan de Koning from ACTIA, the French Bioeconomic Cluster. We are waiting people coming in and see that people is just coming in, and it's probably time to launch the webinar. I will start sharing my screen to start the PowerPoint presentation. Okay, let's go. Okay, we hope that everyone is doing well and keeping safe after this particular summer. At ACTIA, we are very happy to be back after a well-deserved summer break. Following the success of our digital edition end of June, we have decided to launch a series of webinars dedicated to technologies and all associated processes to transform biomass. And today, for our first webinar, we propose you to explore the project Enabling BPP. Enabling BPP is an H2020 project aiming at creating appropriate conditions for the development on efficiency biomass to bio-based product and processes value chain. To present this project, I'm happy to welcome Gemma and Christophe from ACTIA, together with the different partners responsible for each of the developed platform in the project. But before, I would like to announce our next webinar. It will be next September 29 from 10 to 12 a.m. in European time. It will be in cooperation with Singapore EDB, the Economic Development Board of Singapore, and together we are going to explore the partnerships opportunity in the field of industrial biotechnology. At the heart of Asia, Singapore is a leading place for life science and especially industrial biotech. It benefits from world-class manufacturing capabilities and a growing research and innovation ecosystem. Singapore offers perspectives and new successful partnerships opportunities with biotech key players looking at food, personal care, aquaculture, health, sustainable biomanufacturing, in general. For more information on this webinar, we invite you to visit the dedicated web page on both BIOKET website and ACTIA websites. The webinar will combine presentations, breakout sessions to engage with the best Singaporean research institutes. If you are interested to use our channel to promote your technology, your services, or to communicate around an AU project, don't hesitate to contact us. We have a pretty broad network with more than 11 worldwide active contacts on our database, and we are there to serve you. And finally, for those who don't know yet ACTIA, I'm very happy to start the webinar with a short movie on to discover our cluster.
IAR is the French bioeconomy cluster. Let's find out the 7 services we provide you to support your innovations. Tomorrow's solutions are being developed today, from ideas to endorsement and funding of your projects. Our expertise and strategic support will be there to maximize your success. Do you want to diversify your activity to reach a new market? Through our research and consultancy services, we analyze, explain, and help de-risk your business and innovation environment, enabling you to make strategic decisions and identify early adopters and clients. Bioeconomy is a European priority. Having been in Brussels since 2008, we can make sure your voice is heard. We are your ideal partner to access European funding. Innovative startup? Our Investors Club is seeking projects like yours. Thanks to our help, reach out to venture funds and raise the necessary funds to boost your project. Speed up your growth and overcome technological hurdles, thanks to the innovation platforms of our ecosystem. Our Bioeconomy Leaders Network offers you unique business opportunities. Meet your future business partners and develop your expertise at the many events we organize throughout the year. Conferences, business conventions, tech days, so many opportunities to increase your visibility and promote your activities. Grow your business abroad and give your ambitions new horizons thanks to your international missions and delegations. Brazil, USA, Canada, India, Southeast Asia, we will enhance your tech and business partnerships. Changing world, we will help you adapt your training courses to the needs of bioeconomy. This is tailor-made skills, from the endorsement of your training classes to posting jobs. IAR services are here for you. Find out more on en.iar-pol.com.
Well, now it's time to talk about the project enabling. That is what we are doing. We are going to see today. The general agenda of the webinar is starting now with the introduction that I just made now at 2 o'clock. Now is going to be the presentation of the project enabling by Christophe Cotillon and Gemma, the general presentation. Afterwards, we are going to explore the different services, and each, as I said, each of the responsible for the platform is going to present its platform, the Atlas of Inventory of Good Practices, coaching activities to help better understand the characteristic of the bioeconomy and its components, the biomass trade platform, and the process flow platform. This will be followed by an example of good practices identified during the enabling project. It will be the VT-Valo project. And then we are going to finish with an exchange with the participants in general. The rules for this webinar are very simple. At the bottom of your screen, you see, let's say, a number of buttons. And should you have any question, any remarks concerning the presentation, just use the Q&A, let's say, feature. We are not going to reply on the chat one. We are just going to reply to the questions that are on the Q&A. And this is going to be done after the presentation to avoid disturbing, let's say, the presenters. Now, Gemma and Christophe, it's time to go to the project enabling. I will stop sharing my screen. And Gemma, I will invite you to share yours and to start the presentation.
Yeah, thank you very much. So I will share my screen. Yeah, so it's ready, Christophe.
Hello, good afternoon, everybody. So my name is Christophe Cotillon. I'm a deputy manager of ACTIA. So I will just introduce before the enabling project ACTIA. What is ACTIA? So ACTIA is a French network of food technology institutes. So we have about 40 technology institutes in France gathered under ACTIA umbrella. And all of them are non-profit organization, private but non-profit organization, and providing technical assistance to more than 80 industrials in France working in food sector. Next, please. So with all this community of technical centers, we are covering all sectors of food and non-food industries. All technologies, we have an expertise in all the food technologies used in food industry. We are covering all technological research, and we are offering a full range of services to food industry in France. Next slide. So on the map of France, you can see all these sites, because some institutes have several sites in different regions of France. So total, we have about 80 implementation of ACTIA centers in France, in many sectors, many activities, and so on. And we are, of course, just to show that we are a transfer organization. All of members are transfer organizations. So between the public research represented by INRAE, CNRS, universities, and the food industry and the companies. And we are, of course, offering many services that are take into account that are supported financially by ACTIA and the Ministry of Agriculture in France. So Gemma, if you want to, Gemma is my colleague working in European projects, international cooperation in ACTIA, and she will now introduce the enabling project. We are member of, ACTIA is member of this project, the French member.
Yeah, thank you very much, Christophe. So maybe just before starting this presentation, we would like to launch a quick survey just to have an idea about your knowledge of the enabling project. So I don't know. Yeah, I think you should have it on your screen now. So if you can feel it, it's very quick. So I think we will just wait maybe just one more minute. So there was just only 2 questions. So just to have an idea about your field of activity, and if you know already the European project enabling, or if you're new with this project. So maybe we will wait for the last 10 seconds and then we will close it. Yeah. So thank you very much for responding to this poll. So I will start now a quick presentation on this project enabling. So as mentioned before, this project is financed through the Horizon 2020 program. So it's CSA, Coordination and Support Action. This project started in 2017 and will finish at the end of this year. So that's why we are now able to present you all the tools developed during this project. And so the consortium is composed of 16 partners from 13 EU countries and also 2 associated partners, so Norway and Israel. These 16 partners are very diverse. So we have partners coming from biomass analysis laboratory, for instance. So we have also Farmers Association, agri-food consultancy. So the idea is to bring into this project the complementary set of skills, and also it's in relation with the multi-actor approach that this consortium is taking. So about the context of this project, so the main idea was to say that this project intends to respond to the need which is felt by the practitioners in Europe, that we need to improve the collaboration between the source of biomass streams and the processing and transformation industry. And so the idea would be to make better relations between the biomass producers and the bio-based process and products industry. There is too much fragmentation at this stage. And so then there this overall aims that I just presented, and then we have specific objectives, so which are 4, and one of them, so which will be presented a bit later, it's the collection, dissemination, and exploitation of the best practices, so for the management and implementation of bio-based products and processes by sustainable biomass from rural areas. Then we have also support to innovation. So we have developed coaching activities and also innovation brokerage services. It will be also presented later. And then, of course, we need to disseminate and exploit all the results of this project. Sorry. So then the main activities which have been developed. So we have you have the list on the screen. So for instance, a matrix with the data related to biomass and industrial processes. So the best practice collection, the coaching and innovation brokerage activities. So the idea is really to facilitate the contact, the relations between all the actors dealing with biomass and bio-based products and processes. So then we will have 3 speakers and 1 video presentation, and so they will go into more details and present each of the tools which have been developed during the project. So we'll start with the Atlas of Best Practices, then we will go with continue with the coaching activities. Then there are 2 platforms, so one on the biomass trade, so we will have a video presentation, and then the process flow platform will continue. And so just to remind you that if you want to raise questions, so don't hesitate, but at this stage we will just take 1 or 2 after each presentation, and then at the end of the webinar you will have a dedicated session, so don't hesitate to ask questions. Yeah. Thank you very much. So I will stop sharing my screen, and I think Giuseppe, you can go on.
Yes, thank you, Gemma.
So Giuseppe, you are working in UNO. So it's you are based in Brussels, and your company is offering consulting services targeting European policies and funding programs. And you are responsible of the Atlas of Best Practices in Enabling Project. So thank you for your participation.
Thank you, Christophe, for the introduction. Can you see my screen right now?
Yes.
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 Okay. So the Atlas is a platform that was created for the project in order to collect but also share with all the several stakeholders the numerous group practices that all the partners have identified throughout the project. It was developed by Wireless Info, the Czech partner. And the Atlas, it appears in this way on the website. On the left side, you have the map where you have a direct a geographical identification of where the several practices have been collated by the partners. On the right side of the screen, you can see each of the practices, where you can click in and open to learn more details about the business models. Now, on the left side, you can also zoom in each region of Europe, but we also have practices from other countries across the world. You can also, as I said, select one of the practices directly from the map. And on the right side, it appears the detailed description of the practices we have just selected. At the moment on the atlas, there are close to 60 business models that you can already learn more about. But by the end of the project, we will have close to 100 good practices from 80 different business models. So the atlas is accessible directly from the website on the tab called platform, and if you click there, you will be directed to the atlas platform. You can even share each practices through its link. Each good practices has been endowed with its own link from which you can share with different stakeholders and also your contacts. It is possible to select the practices based on different filters. First of all, by country. You can choose which country you want to learn more about specific bio-based processes or products. You can look by partner according to the partner that has collected the specific good practice. And we are also developing two new filters. One is based on the type of biomass source, and one based on the type of end of the final product that is produced through that process. It is also possible to list, to order the cards based on the priority, which is a default option, or you can order or select your cards based on the last one that was uploaded, or by name, simply by alphabet order. The information that you will find in the best practice atlas, I mean the description, it has been collected based on a format that was agreed by all partners at the beginning of the project, and which is also in line with the main requirements asked by the European Commission when it comes to produce the best practices in the APAGRI format. This was about the atlas. I would like to add also that you can also find all these practices in the website of the APAGRI, and they will also be published there, and you can look whenever you want, and do not hesitate to write us or me if you need more information about the several practices that we have identified through the project. This is the end of my presentation. If you, I don't know if we can already have some question, or if this will be done at the end of the first.
If there is a burning question now, we can take one or two questions. So if you. So just a question about this data. Somebody is asking if it is free or not, and so on, and about the quantity of information. So, but you describe it. But for the price, it just as it is a European project, it's free information if you want to.
Yes, the Atlas is free of access, and you don't even need the registration to visit these practices, which is a bit different from the platform related to the brokerage. I think in that platform you will need the registration, but for the Atlas, no, it's you can access directly without any registration.
Yes, and the question was about the volume of biomass. Do you indicate this in this sort of data in the atlas or not?
You mean they mean for each of the for each good practices for each process, or in general, in total?
In general, I think. Yes.
No, this is not. It has not been investigated. Nevertheless, in some practices, there is information related to the amount of biomass that a specific process is delivering, is producing or using.
And a last question before the next presentation. How do you consider to maintain, yes, it's an important question, the sustainability of the Atlas database? How do you will feed it after the end of the project? And do you are planning new data entries in the future?
This is something that we are investigating and inquiring with the several partners. First of all, the Atlas will be there even at the end of the project, so it will keep accessible to the public. It will stay accessible to the public. When it comes to update new practices, there is a lot of work behind the collection of each practice. So if we want to upload some new business model, there should be also some activities behind in the background to collect all the specific information. And this is something that we are investigating, inquiring.
Okay, I think it's important also, of course, to consider as it is set up in the context of a European project. Okay, thank you very much, Giuseppe.
Thank you.
So now we have a next presentation by Claudia.
Yeah.
So I just make a short introduction of Claudia. Claudia is working in Tinada. Tinada is an Italian company working on dissemination of results from scientific research with a special interest on multifunctional products in the agricultural sector. And Tinada is interested in innovative technologies like e-learning, ICT, short food supply chain, and educational and social agriculture. So thank you for participating, Claudia, and I give you the floor.
Thank you, Christophe, for the nice introduction. I couldn't have done it better myself. Thank you. So I'm gonna share my screen now. That should be already on. Can you just confirm this?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm gonna present today the coaching activities that we developed throughout the enabling project. We as partner Tinada together with the WOL consortium. It's been a joint effort for this. The enabling project has already been discussed and already been introduced to the audience, but it's important to focus in order to proceed the conversation for the coaching activities that enabling focuses on the tools and the methodologies in order to keep on the collaboration and knowledge between the practitioners and the stakeholders on the bio-based economy and sector. So in this respect, the coaching activities developed during work package 4, that is support to uptake and innovation watch, want to focus on the support that we can give as a whole and as a single partners to the whole bio-based industry in order to continue operations for the bio-based economy throughout Europe. So basically the coaching activity is a knowledge access, is a knowledge that either the partner or the project in a singular manner or in a concerted way, so like the whole consortium together, possess about biomass, best practices about bio-based economy, bio-based products, procedures, scientific knowledge, and so forth. And the users that apply for coaching activities might access this pool of knowledge that we have created throughout the project. I want to share here, I shared here the link on the website where you can find the platform, and I really hope that it keeps on working. Do you see it?
Yes.
Okay. So this is the web page, the website of the project, and this is the specific page where we have all our platforms and tools of the enabling project. This is the one that Giuseppe has mentioned already, and this is us, the coaching activities. You can choose any language that you prefer. For the sake of this presentation, I will go for English. And this is basically just questionnaires that can be filled online by any device without like an extensive knowledge of IT that users can compile in order to deliver us a specific questions they have about bioeconomy or biomass. So I'm just gonna proceed not too forward because it doesn't take that much, but still like it will take maybe too much time for this presentation. You can either ask a question by being a natural person or a legal person, so you can also represent a company. And the question can be of any sort. Of course, like there is also a little bit of information that we might know about yourself in order to help you out through the navigation of the issue that you raised. And also it's very important that the language would be always the language that you choose. So we represent 11 languages throughout the project, and you can choose the language for the assistance that you prefer. So this is the outlook of the questionnaire. A very important question comes at the very end, in which there is an open question for the users to compile in order to really narrow down the specific elements that they might need or they might want to know about the bio-based economy. And all the data is treated safely, we're not sharing, and as at the Atlas, it is also a service that is free of charge, so there is no obligations, no commitments related to this. So some achievements, we have provided more than 45 coaching requests, so 45 coaching requests have been submitted and resolved. As I said, we provide these services in 11 languages that are like the languages of the project officially. The knowledge that we can work on is either on the biomass, so the first stage, the agricultural stage or raw stage of the biomass, the bio-based product, so what is possible to do with the biomass, and as well on good practices. So it's a very important tool because we think that having a tailored answer to a question that is very specific to your region, to your expertise, to your needs, works very efficiently, and it might provide better answers than typing something on Google and making a general research on any database. And it's been carried out like within a considerable, like a short amount of time for the users as well to receive the information fast. So this is my presentation. It was very short. It's a very simple concept and tool, but I hope it was helpful. If you may have any question of the sort, you can write me at projects@tinada.eu or navigate through the website where there is enough information as well for you to look at. And thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Claudia. There was one question about an example, for example, an example of a coaching activity, practical, just to have an idea of what kind of coaching activity people are requiring and so on.
So should I answer now or?
Yes, you can briefly.
Okay, so the information can be quite broad and general. There are people asking what is the state of I don't know, maybe hemp biomass residues that can be used in a certain region or a certain country, and we provided them with some papers that have been published about the subject and with some best practices as well coming from our database, but as well others. So it can be like a general question on the state of the art or on the processes as well. Sometimes there have been very scientific questions, and as I've been said in the introduction, there are many partners with scientific data knowledge that many partners like Tinada don't have. So
yes, I have also a question about confidentiality aspects about coaching activities.
Yeah.
What, of course, this data, these services are confidential.
Yeah, of course, completely confidential. And the email address that you give us, it's only for reaching you out, or if you prefer, you can put as well like a cell phone or a mobile number. But it's only like to keep the conversation and to make sure that you receive the answer to your question after the questionnaire.
Okay, so thank you very much, Claudia.
Thanks to you.
And so now we can move to the next presentation. So about process flows platform.
Yes, Christophe, there is first one video about.
Yes,
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah, and
Before
so I
we
will just
have a video. Yes.
Yeah, and maybe just to complete also what so the presentation of Claudia. So she was presenting to the coaching activities, and also so the enabling project is also offering brokerage activities. So it's for the stakeholders that may have already something concrete, so a clear idea of what they want to develop, and so we can also help you to answer your questions, to go into more detail. So if you have really something concrete, so we can also help you with the same principles as explained by Claudia.
And of course, freely, without any.
Yeah, of course, yeah, free of charge, and also
exactly.
taking into account, of course, the confidentiality aspect.
Yes, it's important to mention. Yes.
Yeah. And then I don't know if we have other questions. No, I think it's
No,
okay.
I think that's all for this.
So we can continue with the presentation of the biomass trade platform. So for this, it will be a video just to introduce you that this platform, so it's an online venue, so where biomass producers and biomass processors can meet in order to exchange the for instance, biomass residues or organic byproducts which are not currently valorized. So I will show you now the video presentation.
Just need the sound, if it's possible.
Sorry, is it?
No, we don't hear anything. Just.
Ah, okay. I will try again. So I will try again. Yeah.
You need to share your screen as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
I will do it. Sorry. Do you hear it now?
No. We hear you, but not the. We hear you, but not the sound of the.
Of the video?
Yeah.
I don't understand why. What can I do?
Have headphones actually?
No.
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 Because sometimes that disturb as well the sounds. Is it available on YouTube or something like that?
Unfortunately, no.
On your website, on the website of Enabling?
No, either no.
Because I could have done it from my computer otherwise.
Yeah. But... maybe I will just try to open it with another.
A suggestion is to modify the source of sound, but
yeah.
I'm not a specialist. Somebody from the audience suggested to change some sound.
So.
Products.
Okay.
Enabling focuses on the assurance of market growth for biomass as a raw material.
It's okay?
Yes.
Okay, I will start again, sorry.
Okay.
The Horizon 2020 project Enabling supports the development of efficient value chains from biomass to bio-based products. Enabling focuses on the assurance of market growth for biomass as a raw material, the support for the transition to a circular economy, and the creation of new jobs alongside the entire biomass value chain. biomasstrade.eu. Enabling has created a variety of tools for networking different stakeholders in the bio-based sector. A central element is the Biomass Trade brokerage platform, where producers and processing industries can meet. Biomass Trade creates new opportunities for producers and buyers of biomass and biomass residues. The platform is a new trading place for producers from agriculture and forestry, but also from fishing. This way, previously unused residues and byproducts that would otherwise be disposed of at the producer's cost are monetized. For processing industries, from the manufacturing to craft and services sector, biomass trade is an opportunity to support companies in acquiring new raw material sources and expanding the access to potential providers. During agricultural production processes, considerable amounts of byproducts and residues occur. Currently unused byproducts can be offered to interested customers without binding obligations. Since there are no intermediaries involved at biomass trade, the profits are not reduced by other parties. Details such as delivery conditions, biomass quality and payment are negotiated individually and according to the needs on both sides of supply and demand. With the help of the trading platform, farmers and foresters as well as other biomass producers can generate new income opportunities. The bio-based industry relies on continuous and secured supply of high-quality biomass for its production processes. Biomass trade helps companies to access new and previously unknown sources for the required raw materials. The platform is user-friendly and clearly laid out, since it's a matchmaking webpage only. The contracts are then negotiated and concluded by the respective providers and customers of the products and services. Biomass trade provides all services free of charge. There are no hidden costs, neither for registration nor for trading or other services directly provided by our website. The marketplace provides the possibility to post offers and requests in the following areas: residues and byproducts, bio-based products, and services. All categories can be split up several times and thus narrow the selection of the raw materials, products, and services offered and sought. biomass trade operates across the EU, but aims to connect stakeholders at regional level, thus promoting the networking and exchange of goods and services in a short way. If needed, the website and its content can be displayed in 10 different languages. The chosen language can be switched at any point on the site you currently are. To post your own entry and offer your services, biomass, residues or products, you must first register on the website. Once you have created your own profile, you can log in and start connecting with other stakeholders. Discover the potential of biomass trade and get in direct contact with producers and customers of the bioeconomy at biomasstrade.eu today.
Yeah, so that was the presentation of this tool, so the biomass trade platform. So as you've seen, so really, so this tool, it's for you. So if you have something to propose, or if you're looking for some type of specific residues or byproducts, so really you can just log in and create your account, and then you can use all the possibilities of this platform.
Do you have any questions related to this platform? I do not see any questions at the moment.
Yeah. So maybe we can go on.
Yes, we can move to the next presentation.
Yeah, so the next presentation will be the process flow platform. So it will be presented by Lalita, so from the organization Selinis. So Selinis is a dedicated biomass analysis laboratory, so which is based in Ireland. And so they are providing precise data, allowing stakeholders to make the best use of their biomass feedstocks and optimize their biomass conversion processes. So Lalita, you can start.
Hi everyone, thank you for such a nice introduction about the company. So I'll be discussing here the work we did for enabling using our knowledge on biomass composition and process. So I'll share my screen. Let me see. Can you see my screen? Sorry.
We see that you are sharing, getting.
Do you see my presentation?
No, not at the moment.
Okay, let me just. The share button is disabled for me here. I don't know why. Okay, let me just. Okay, I could see that. I can.
Yeah, now
can you see the screen?
It's okay.
Yeah,
it's okay.
Okay. Okay, great. Thank you. So in the enabling project, as you say, there are several platforms, and process flow platform is one of the platforms there. And our main focus while we develop this platform is to match feedstock with the technologies and help that to create robust local economies, and also to help in the market sector there. So I'm going just outside enabling here just to show the relevance. So when I was reading on COVID impact, something struck me. So in agriculture, the employment is very high, whereas the risk is low, and agriculture is directly connected with the bioeconomy. So I think it's something we have to strongly focus on. And yes, the risk is low with agriculture in terms of employment, but whereas when it comes to the technologies to convert the feedstock agriculture residues to products, the risk is very high, which is because of the if you notice here, the technology development usually takes quite a long time, and there is an acceleration phase, and that's when normally businesses see the value of death, because it's very difficult to gauge what process or what technology is the most suitable technology for your feedstock. So for that, Seligness comes into picture. We work with several companies to be your biomass detective. So we go through different feedstocks, we do biomass analysis, and we give a complete composition of your feedstock. And from there, we can also help for which products your feedstock is more suitable. And that's exactly same kind of work we try to do on in enabling on this platform. So this is as you say, just give me a second. So you can click on this link. You can also I don't know why, just let me go back to the Chrome. Maybe it's easier if I do it from here. So you can go through process flow platforms. That takes you to
select different regions,
the report page.
then
And
suppose if
this
I
is the
click
screen you
on
see when it
Southeast
comes to process
Ireland,
flows. You can then pick feedstock category. Which one do you want to look for? Agriculture residues or animal industry or herbaceous wood crops? Let me look at agriculture residues. And from here, you can actually go
sorry,
search.
Lalita, but we cannot
Yep.
see this, what you are doing. And
Oh, really?
yes, so if you can,
Okay,
we
one
don't
second.
see this website.
That's really, I don't know why, because it says sharing here. Give me a second. Let me fix this. I will stop
that you are
share.
using extended screen and perhaps.
I will stop share. No, I don't have. I actually moved to a single screen for this. But let me stop share and try again, if that's okay for you. Yep.
Okay.
Let me know if that's better now.
Yes.
Right. Okay.
Good.
Okay. I'm extremely sorry. I don't know. Something happened. Okay. So when you click on enabling open platform, it should lead you to a window like this. And when you go here, there is feedstock availability. So you can look for feedstock availability in a particular country and a specific region. And then you can also look for bio-based products and product flows. So here, there are the countries that collected data through enabling project. And let me give an example for Ireland. So suppose I select Ireland. Then I go for a region. I like Southeast. So let me pick Southeast. And feedstock category, agriculture residues. And from here, you don't have to select feedstock until and unless you want to go for a very defined feedstock availability. And then you click on search. So it should give you different kinds of agriculture residues available in Ireland. So if you want to develop a process on agriculture residues, and if you want to look for what's the most available feedstock in the region, so you get all this information. And that's the same with all the countries, and each country has its a different region. So you have to refresh if you want to change. So like suppose if I go to Belgium, Belgium has only Flanders, France. You have several regions in France. So there's large amount of data available here which you can access. And from there on, suppose if you have a feedstock already, if you are processing, if you are if you have surplus feedstock and you want to know what to do with it, the next option is bio-based products and product flows. So you go here. So this is more technical. So you have to decide whether it's cellulose rich or starch rich or sugar rich. And if you don't know that technical, the details of your feedstock, you can go to feedstock and at least try to pick the category of feedstock you're looking for. Is it hardwood, softwood, look for that. So for now, I'll give an example. Let's say cellulose, and let's say straws, right? And then you go to sector. Sector is divided into biochemicals and biopolymers. Let's pick biochemicals. You don't have to pick products until and unless you want to be very selective and say search. So you get the conversion rates, theoretical and practical conversion rates here. For suppose here we picked straw, you can say how much of lactic acid you can reduce per wet ton straw, and you can also go to in detail process flows, where it's a pictorial representation of all the process and scientific details involved, and you can also read about the biochemical here. So it's a lot of information, and we are constantly updating with company details and process flows and theoretical and practical values. And we hope to continue do this even beyond enabling, because as we are a biomass analysis laboratory, we have huge amount of information, things that are not confidential. So we try to keep it doing.
Right.
Sorry?
The countdown. Are you with NASA or are you with Elon Musk?
Sorry?
Somebody is disturbing with the sound, so cut your sound, please.
Okay, so this is about the platform, right? So I have to move to presentation now. Please let me know if you can see my screen. Otherwise, I have to again stop sharing and start again. Can you see the presentation now, or?
No.
Okay, so I think it looks like I have to stop and start again. I'm sorry, this is okay. So once you have the platform, it's important to, once you know which product you want, what technology you want to use, it's important to optimize it, and for which you need all the sizing and economics and analysis and so on, which we can help. And also there are certain process design rules for small scale rural biorefineries, which are also certain thumb rules which we can help if you approach us through enabling. And one thing I want to mention here is there's this news article saying investing in, they gave a list of 8 bioeconomy sectors. I'm not going to detail. That will help create almost 1.6 million jobs to lost to COVID. So I constantly advocate for investing in bioeconomy, make use of resources very well. At Celignus, we do this a lot. So we are involved in all this project except enabling. All of these are technology development projects. We develop a variety of technologies. So if you want any coaching, any help, if you have feedstock, please contact us through enabling platform. As we mentioned before, the service is free. If you come through enabling, we can offer a certain amount of service for free. Thank you. I'll stop sharing my video. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Lalita, for this very interesting presentation. So I'm just looking at the questions. We have one question about, of course, the maintenance and of the data. Will this be updated beyond the end of the enabling project?
So for process platforms, yes. So we are planning to keep it going beyond the project. We take care of our own websites, and we have a huge database we maintain here at Selignus. So this small enabling thing is not a problem for us at all to maintain beyond the project. Yeah. The process flows for sure will be on. That's 100%. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Do you have any other question in the audience? We have time, we can take another one. Okay, no special questions.
Maybe we can go on with
Yes.
one example of a good practice.
Yes.
And so for this example, so we will take the project called Vitivalo, so which is coordinated by Gregory Châtel. So we'll do the presentation. So Gregory, you're specialized in green chemistry, and you're a professor at the University of Savoie-Mont-Blanc. And so you will present your project, which is aiming at offering alternatives to the current practices of open burning of wine waste in the Savoie-Mont-Blanc area. So the floor is yours.
Yes. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. So good afternoon, everyone. So my name is Gregory Châtel. I am associate professor at the Université Savoie-Mont-Blanc in France. And my current research is focused on green chemistry, biomass and waste valorization, and the use of physical activation methods such as ultrasound, microwave, and supercritical fluids in the context of bioeconomy and circular economy. And today I will briefly present you a project that I coordinate on the development of new alternatives to the current practice of open-air burning of wine waste in the Savoie-Mont-Blanc region. So this project is a good example of local, multi-partner and multidisciplinary project. Indeed, this project is developed on the Savoie-Mont-Blanc territory in France, in the Alpes. As you can see with all the logos of the consortium, we work with almost 400 wine growers, the public authorities, several companies, other academic labs, and citizen associations. I created and coordinate this project with my colleague, Christine Pio, who is assistant professor in atmospheric chemistry in my university. In this project, we have professionals of viticulture, experts in waste collection, chemists, economists, and others that work all together on this multidisciplinary project. In fact, during the winter period, viticulture produce high amounts of wood type waste, such as grape cans and grape rind stalks. Sorry. However, the traditional practices were to burn this waste in the open air in vineyards. This practice is now prohibited for pollution reasons through a prefectural decrease from 2017. In this context, we propose to search new solutions for collection, storage, processing, and valorization of this viticultural waste. And the second objective of the project is to bring to wine professionals to change in practice and support them to make more environmentally use of the waste they produce. So the first step of the project was to make an initial inventory. This study made it possible to identify the available amount of waste in Savoie-Mont-Blanc territory, but also to inventory all the practices of professionals and the location of waste. In fact, we determined that major part of the viticultural waste is crushed and put back to the ground, but non-negligible part is burnt despite the prefectural decree. So today, this production of wood type waste is estimated at 28,000 cubic meters each year. With our PhD at lab, we especially work on the extraction and purification of targeted molecules that are trans-resveratrol and trans-vinylferine. We also studied the pre-extraction parameter in the lab. So we first developed the extraction and purification of these molecules of interest for pharmaceutical, nutraceutical, and cosmetic application. Thanks to their attractive and antioxidant properties. We also studied all the conditions of storage and preparation to obtain the best yield in these molecules. A better knowledge of the practices and the collaboration with the wine growers were very crucial here for our work of chemists at lab, leading us to original ideas and new results. So for example, we demonstrated the advantage to use certain varieties of wine, or we optimize the time and condition of storage before extracting to obtain the maximum of molecules during the process of extraction. However, this chemical valorization is just the first step of a cascade of valorization ways where 100% of the material is used. For example, we studied the industrial composting of the residue of extraction on an industrial platform. After 6 months of the large-scale experimentation from 14 tons of waste, we produce an industrial compost of standard quality that can be marketed. We also experimented the fragmented rameal wood that is an agronomic technique where we compare viticultural waste to other substrates based on biomass. We demonstrated that equivalent agronomic properties have been obtained compared to classical substrates in this case. We also start a new research for bio-based material from viticultural waste to study their thermal and sound insulation properties. We start to work with other labs on this research, and we need some funding on this part to continue. Another interesting collaboration with Agroscope in Switzerland allows us to test some residual extracts on antifungal activity, especially against vine pathogen. Here we use directly the extracts from the lab, and the preliminary results are also encouraging. At last, we also investigate some application in health, especially in the fatty liver disease treatment with CellMed company. Promising results have been already obtained on human cells in this case. So we demonstrated that several thousand tons of waste are available each year on Savoie-Mont-Blanc territory. And our goal is to propose a demonstrator of circular economy on this territory to develop it in other wine regions. The change of practices also require communication. And on this territory, we work, for example, with local schools and their families through the 1 year with Vitivalo operation to sensitize them to the problems of viticulture waste and the valorization. The perspective for this project are the scale-up of the chemical valorization, and the new application in health and bio-based material are also important. In our global approach of circular economy, we also think about the environmental and economical assessments, in particular through life cycle analysis with our partner ENSAM AMETIer. And we also continue our action of communication and help to change current practice on the territory. So to conclude, the research projects that we develop at labs, such as Vitivalo project, allow us to work from fundamental to applied chemistry with different challenges on the raw materials that we use. For example, we also work with food industry waste on invasive alien species through different collaboration and different partners. The challenge for us is to develop new processes of extraction and or transformation through green chemistry and assisted catalysis-based strategy involving different unconventional methods of activation, such as chemistry, microwave, and supercritical fluids. And the goal is to produce platform molecules of interest or extract designed for specific activity for different applications in cosmetic, nutraceutical, pharmaceutical industries, fine chemistry, and others. Our global strategy is to develop, to contribute to circular economy and bring solutions to more global issues, such as the production of biosource products, preserve the biodiversity and air quality, and propose new solutions for health. This kind of global approach is needed, in my opinion, to answer to the circular economy issues. I believe in the need to combine different expertise and cascade of approaches on valorization, taking into account the specificities of the territory and also the sector of activity. So just to finish, I would like to thank the organizer to invite me, and all the team, and also you for your attention.
Thank you very much, Gregory, for your nice presentation. And so until now, we knew the valorization of the grapes with the seeds, with the must, and for the processing in antioxidants, for chemistry, for bio cosmetics, and so on. And I have one question about the quality of antioxidants. It is the same from the wood from wine, or do you made any comparison? Or?
Yes, the molecules are the same that we find in the wine. So we know the antioxidant properties of the wine, and it is because of these molecules. So we have also in the waste, in the wood waste, these molecules, and we can extract them.
And in terms of price, in terms of it is the same.
So yeah, it's a question. So our goal is to develop the complete channel, the complete sector on the territory, and we have to make some economic assessments to really see if it is viable. Our strategy was to propose a cascade of valorization to be viable, in fact, in this channel of valorization. Because
yes,
only,
I think it could be nice, yes.
Yeah, and the extraction part, the first part is to give added value to the channel, in fact.
Exactly. So we have some questions from the audience. The first one is about details regarding extraction process. Are you able to give more details, or it is confidential? I don't know.
Yeah, we have some publications, protocols, and something, and our goal is also to make green chemistry. So we develop something about the waste of extraction also, because we can use some solvent, and we use the activation method to limit the use of solvent, and we recycle. We have a continuous process, and we develop this kind of thing.
Okay, thank you. Another one is about the energy valorization. Is it a long-term option for such grape canes, or biochemistry has a potential to consume all the available volumes?
The energy valorization is also an option. And in fact, some studies exist about the energy valorization of waste from viticulture, but in fact, with the valorization is poor, and in terms of transportation of the waste, etc., it is very limited. So we have to find another model, but maybe energy valorization could be in the cascade of valorization.
Okay. Another one is about organic chemistry. Do we have an approach towards this organic chemistry, the modification of some function on a simple molecule for 5 carbon atoms and heterocycles?
Oh, yes, I am organic chemist, so it is also a challenge for us to functionalize the molecules that we obtain, also to obtain new activity or new properties. For example, we functionalize a molecule in another example to increase the bioavailability of the molecule for health applications. So yes, we can play with molecules.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions related to this presentation? No. So I think we can have Gemma, perhaps a debate with the participants, with the audience on
Yes.
general questions about this webinar or the presentations that have been done.
Yes, so now it's yeah, we have an open floor. So if you have any questions regarding all the presentations or just more in general about the project, so yeah, please raise your question. And also in the meantime, we have another short survey for you. So it will also appear on the screen. And so if you could fill it, it would be really nice just to have an idea of what was interesting for you during this webinar. And so don't hesitate to raise questions at the same time.
Yes.
There is no commitment behind that, then you can still reply to the survey, please.
Yes, and if you have any question, of course, we are at your disposal to answer to you. And do not hesitate, don't be shy about the project, the presentation. About biomass in general. Okay, so of course, you can contact us directly via the project, or of course, we invite you to visit the website where you can find a lot of information platforms of we discussed this afternoon about. So.
And also all the presentations.
Yes, it was a question.
Will be available, so you will have an access to it. And so, of course, if you have if you want to clarify points or also to ask some questions or after the webinar, so you will have all the contacts on it and also all the links, so it will be easier for you.
So I think perhaps you can close the webinar. I don't know if
we have
some new questions. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So a question from India. Will you be interested in helping at my project? Yes, of course. You can write us and describe your project, and perhaps we can support you if we can, of course. And but you're welcome to send us an email and to describe your project, and we will see how we can contribute to support you.
Yeah, you can also directly use the coaching activity service.
Yes, I think it's a good way to be supported, as it was described by Claudia. And another question is about among all the contributors, who would be the best actor to be contacted? So I think we are many people from the project in order to define a way for a biocatalyzer in organic chemistry. Organic chemistry is a specialty of a colleague from the Professor Châtel. I think perhaps you can contact him.
Yes, I'm not an expert in biocatalysis, but I have some colleagues that I can give you some contacts.
And we have another question for you, Mr. Châtel. Which process is the most costing one in your project?
I have not the response for the moment, so it is really the next step. We optimize all the processes, and now we have to make the economical
analysis. Yes, assessment. Okay. Another burning question to hand. Okay, so I think we can close the webinar. Gemma, what do you think?
Yeah, I think so.
Or IAR, the cluster, want to close the webinar?
Yes, I would like to make a special thanks to you, Christophe, and to Gemma for this webinar, and as well to all the partners of the project enabling. It was very nice and very interesting webinar, very interesting project, very useful to create value chain along the bioeconomy sector. I hope you will, following this webinar, you will get a lot of new contact, a lot of new demand. We know that people usually contact the presenters afterwards with more precise and specific questions. I hope will be the case for you as well. And thank you again for this webinar. Gemma and Christophe, thank you very much, and all the partners of the enabling project. As BIOKET Digital, we will be back on September 29 with our next webinar to explore the partnerships opportunity in the field of industrial biotechnologies with Singapore Economic Development Board. And we hope you enjoyed today's presentation. I just have to finish to wish you a nice afternoon, and to hopefully see you soon, let's say in our next webinar. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, everybody. It was a nice webinar, and I thank you for your participation and your involvement in this webinar.
Yep.
Thank you also to the cluster.
Thank you.
Have a nice evening. Have a nice afternoon.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.